Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's off of McDermott Road in Allen, Texas. This is one of my favorite Lowe's to go shopping because they always have some great plants to look at. And as always, please make sure you are hitting the like button for my video as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. We definitely want to grow that plant community of ours. And this will give you that 1 hour plant shopping video that I do daily. But anyways, today we are going on this sunny day to this garden center. I just recently filmed a nursery tour for Green Acres Plant Nursery and Supply out in Melissa, Texas. So this was actually the big box store I visited right after, but you can see it is a beautiful sunny day. It is a great day to go shop for plants. And my plant foldies, if you are new to my channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. I really hope you like the selection of plants I have today. I am featuring a lot more outdoor plants, but have no fear for those that love tropical indoor plants. I have a bunch of those in this video as well, so stay tuned for that. But you can see right over here, we've got a bunch of starter hibiscus. So I've never really seen hibiscus in this size, but I like it a lot. This looks like that Island Bloom series that they have for Walmart, but this one right here is Tropical Escape by Costa Farm. So I suppose Tropical Escape is basically another name for all of the tropical landscaping plants that they have at Lowe's. These ones are for $6.84, I believe. At Walmart, they are for $5.84. So there's a little bit of a price difference, but needless to say, it is nice to see that there are a bunch of hibiscus plants here. The thing about hibiscus, they come in different types of flower colors. They do need full sun. They need warmer conditions to really thrive. For those that get really cold winters, these ones are plants that you would need to overwinter, which means you're going to have to bring them indoors. And if you do bring them indoors, they're probably going to need to be growing under a grow light or some place that can get a lot of light, because these thrive in a direct sun. So full sun is what they need, at least 6 to 8 hours. I got a variegated version of a hibiscus called a salsa dancer, and that one is really cool as well. But you can see here they have this Tropical Escape series, which is basically Island Blooms for Walmart. And I've never really seen a bunch of these hibiscus, but look at how small they are. These are nice starter plants. I mean, it's amazing how Costa Farms just produces so many plants. They must have like a really big facility to do it. Someday, I'd love to go travel to Florida and see what their facility looks like. But you can see here for $6.98. I got the price wrong earlier. This is a bird of paradise, white bird of paradise. So these white bird of paradise, if they bloom, will have white blooms. And right over here, we've got a quarter-line Hawaiian tea plant. Really like this a lot. This is for $6.98. Now, with quarter-line Hawaiian tea plant, you really want to give it a lot of bright light, just because you'll get the better variegation or the pink coloring if it has a lot of light. But really like that a lot. It's one of those plants that, again, if you try to grow indoors, it is really susceptible to spider mites. So it's much better to grow them outdoors. But you can see they've got an assortment of different types of hibiscus. That's really exciting because I've never really seen hibiscus offered at that size. And for $6.98, that is not a bad price at all. And then we are seeing so many mandevilla flowers. So I've never really been interested in mandevilla flowers, but you can see right here, what a gorgeous looking flower. It is definitely a tropical flower here. And these are in hanging baskets at Lowe's. You're actually going to see a bunch of mandevilla flowers just offered at any big box store. And what a wonderful day to just walk around and look at plants. I mean, it is a nice sunny day. The temperature is around 75, and that's really good for Texas. I am based out in North Dallas, so this is where I really film most of my plants, but today's weather is amazing. And you can see here for $9.98, we have an aloe vera plant that's in bloom as well. So that means that the plant is really healthy. We've got some more succulents right here. This is a sedum firestorm for $9.98. This is by Oasis Plants. For Lowe's, I have been looking at a lot of succulents and cactus. I've really got to get some more knowledge about them. I am not as versed, but I will feature these as well. And you can see here, this is a nice looking cactus as well, a torch cactus. So you will see a lot of these cactus and succulents. The only thing I know about cactus and succulents is that they do require a lot of light. Dark foliage, dahlias right here. What an interesting looking one. It looks like some of the dahlia blooms have already been spent. So if I were, the person that has that that flower, you would definitely want to deadhead it, which means to cut off the dead blooms so that the dahlia will produce more flowers. But you can see right over here, we've got another interesting plant by Proven Winners. This is the Waikiki Sunset. It's got some nice yellow, green on green variegation. This looks to be a ground cover. And I'll say for Proven Winners, they definitely have some quality plants, great hybrids. I am interested to see what other Proven Winner tropical plants that they'll actually release this year. I know that I was able to find like a Ficus umbellata, some really nice alocasia. So we're going to see what Proven Winners puts out this year, but you can see lots of container plants. So it's nice to see there's a combination of flowering plants in those container plants, as well as the flower of the hour, which is the petunia. I've said this in all of my other videos. Petunias seem to be the hybrid flower. There's just so many varieties. And I'm going to walk over here because this is a classic marigold. Marigolds were flowers that I've grown as a kid from seed, and they make really good marigold tea. So now we're gonna walk inside and look at this Lowe's. I love this Lowe's because from the indoor and outdoor sections, this Lowe's remains to be one of the Lowe's that has a lot of plants. They remain full. I love that they're constantly bringing in different plants, and you can see here lots of container combinations of flowers. So if you're not really versed in putting flowers together or container plants, it's always nice to just go to Lowe's and find a like a hanging basket or a big planter with different types of plants. Most of these plants actually are put together in a way that they have the same lighting conditions and care conditions, which is nice. Like you can see that they've got just lots of plants like these petunias right over here that require a lot of light. Petunias love the sun, so if you don't have full sun, petunias are not the flower to grow in your garden. But look at that. I love that dark foliage, the purples, the lavenders, so many colors. And when you look at flowers, I know that I've been featuring a lot of flowers. Flowers just bring you a lot of joy. When you go to a hospital or somebody just needs a pick me up or cheer me up, flowers do the job. And why not have flowers that last longer than cut flowers? Like look at these dahlias right over here. Elegant looking sunburst full of pink and yellow colors. Now dahlias, from what I've been told, they are perennial in certain growing zones. They can grow from tubers or seeds. So I'm learning a lot from you guys, and that's the thing about my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get updated. I typically do live premiere videos with a live premiere chat around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It could be a little bit later, and I aim to try to do 1-hour plant shopping videos. Our community is growing at a rapid pace, and it's because of you guys for always tuning in, for always hitting the like button, leaving comments, sharing my videos, and really engaging. That has just made a nice positive community for us. And you can see here, one of the flowers that I like as well, portulacas. Portulacas are a succulent type ground cover with lots of blooms, and that one is gorgeous as well. I've grown portulacas, and for some reason they can propagate themselves. Like you can literally have a basket, and then all of a sudden some of them just end up following into the ground and propagating themselves. And we have an endless amount of mandevilla flowers. I really like the white ones, but the red ones are fiery as well. Really like the look of mandevillas, as well as the pink flowers. So I haven't really grown mandevilla flowers, although I had a subscriber mention that they've grown mandevilla flowers and they overwinter them, have had them for about 4 to 5 years. So feel free to leave your in the comment section your plants, what you've grown, how you've taken care of them, just because I love reading them. I will respond to pretty much any comment that's left on the YouTube videos of mine, as well as if you add me on Instagram. If you send me a direct message, I will most likely get it, and I will most likely respond unless it is some type of spam or scam. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, we can see right over here, we've got a bunch of bougainvillea flowers. So these ones are not in bloom, but bougainvillea are beautiful flowers as well. It's interesting that they've created hybrids that have no thorns. So sometimes bougainvilleas can be a little bit thorny. Same thing with roses. So we've got a plethora of roses. I miss my rose garden. I used to have a variegated rose garden, but the thing about roses is, as beautiful as the blooms are, they are a little bit more susceptible to leaf and leaf diseases. So one thing I will recommend for roses is, if you have an irrigation system, put it in. They don't do very well with sprinklers, because if their foliage stays wet too long, they actually get what they call that black leaf disease, and it's just not a good one. That is a fungus type disease that spreads very quickly with roses. And over here, we've got some fig trees. So I've been looking at fig trees, especially this one, because this Chicago hardy fig, I'm actually interested in possibly making a fig bonsai. And for those that don't know what bonsai is basically growing a plant, particularly like a tree or a shrub or anything really that you can shape into a miniature tree. It takes a lot of time to style it, trim it, wire it to really get a good shape. But I was thinking of doing a fig bonsai. Originally, I loved bonsai plants. I mean, honestly, I love plants in general. If you talk about like indoor house plants, outdoor gardening plants, flowering plants, landscaping, the whole 9 yards, I'm all about it. But bonsai is definitely one that I am interested in, as well as these encore azaleas. So I'm a little bit more confident now in growing azaleas, because I figured the care tips for azaleas. You don't want to water their leaves from the top. You want to bottom water them, or at least water from the base. When you have planted a newly planted azalea, which by the way needs really more acidic soil, so you might have to amend it with like coffee grounds and just some soil acidifier. You want to water the roots often. You never really want azaleas, especially in the first year in the ground, to dry out completely. And then right over here, I know that a lot of plant folies have asked me to show some more jade plants. So this is a jade golem plant. Look at this one for $9.98. Really like that a lot. Now with jade plants or any type of succulent plant, you want to give it a lot of light, like full sun, at least 6 to 8 hours is what's required. If you're going to grow succulents indoors, be prepared to have them growing under a grow light. Indoor conditions typically do not give them enough lighting conditions. And here is a plant find, and I consider this a plant find because for $9.98, this is amazing to find an Aeonium kiwi. Look at how gorgeous that is. I will probably buy this Aeonium for sure, because these Aeoniums are a little bit more pricey when bought online. They're not typically found in big box stores. You can see this one right here has gotten some type of damage. Now, what I didn't understand or realize about Aeoniums is that they really don't like hot conditions. So even if I am going to grow this in Texas, I can grow them outdoors. But when that 100-degree weather comes in, for what a plant vendor seller was telling me at PlantCon 2024, and by the way, if you haven't seen my PlantCon 2024 video, please check that out. Lots of rare Aroids and unicorn plants. She was mentioning that a lot of succulents don't really like the heat, so we would have to bring them indoors. So that'll be a challenge for me, but I am going to buy that because I love the pink variegation on the Aeoniums. And you can see right here, it does say full sun 6 plus hours a day to get the best coloration for these succulents, and I love them. I'm just going to walk by here and show you the assortment that they have. Here is another jade plant, or a Crusala fingers. What an interesting texture on the jade plant. Like, looking at jade plants, you know, I actually wouldn't mind growing a bunch because as a child, my grandmother grew a bunch and they're pretty easy to grow. Here's an interesting Kalanchoe fangs, and I think that this is such a cool looking Kalanchoe, number one because it's got fuzzy leaves, but you can really see the texture of the leaves. The bottom parts of it actually have kind of like spikes, but not enough to where it would prick you. It's got a definite bone texture to it, and you know, Kalanchoe, I've been seeing a lot of those obviously because we see a bunch of the flowering ones offered at grocery stores, but look at the little fangs there. really interesting, and I can understand why some people really get into succulents. Like this is another jade plant that I would get. This is a Crusala lemon lime. I like that green on green variegation, but you notice that there is slight pink too, and that's what you call sun stressing when it is really getting a lot of light. Really like that a lot. And we've just got more succulents right here. This is a larger version of the golem jade plant here. This one's for $24.98. And what's cool about jade plants is you can literally snap off a branch, stick it in soil, and it will propagate itself easily. You can even propagate it from its leaves, and this one is so beautiful. What do you think about this jade plant here? This would actually make a really good bonsai right here. Actually air layer a bunch of these and make smaller bonsai. What a nice looking jade plant. So plant foldies, I hope you guys like the diversity of plants I am offering. I'm really trying to show you guys different types of plants. This is a channel for everybody, obviously, and then it's one that I know most of us will find a big box store and look for those outdoor house plants, but my goal is also to create awareness of different types of plants. So I hope you guys are appreciating my efforts to provide that. And you can see here, this Lowe's just has so many plants, and I am living for it. I am loving it. It is bringing me so much joy, and I hope it does for you as well. And right over here, we've got some Kalia lilies by Monrova. So Kalia lilies are perennials, and perennials are basically plants that you can plant in your landscape, and they will grow back year after year. Obviously, they will grow a growing season, die off in the winter, and come back in the spring. Now, you'll have to check your growing zones, whether they're perennials or if they're just annuals. But you can see here, more petunias. Petunias are literally the flower of the hour every hour during spring, because you see so many different varieties of petunias. You can grow them as ground cover, in flower beds, as hanging baskets. Petunias, I would say, are a little bit more of a thirsty plant. It also needs full sun, so just keep track of that. And you can see here, this has like little white speckles, really cute pink petunias. And we're gonna pass by here, so African daisies. What I like about African daisies is the gradients that they have. It's got almost like a holographic gradient. What a beautiful color to these African daisies. Again, African daisies are another flower that needs full sun. That's really all that I know about African daisies. So if you know more about them or grow them, please leave that in the comments or in the live premiere chat. And we've got some more dahlias right over here. And speaking of the live premiere chats, I have been seeing a lot more new faces on the live premiere chat. So really excited to see that. Again, if you're able to watch a live premiere, don't be shy. Please say hello to the plant foldy community. We are very welcoming, and it's just nice to grow the community. And actually, I was super excited that as of today, we have more than 9,000 subscribers to GrowFolds. What a wonderful plant journey this has been. I've been doing this, seriously for about 4 months, I would say 4 or 5 months, doing daily plant content. And that's one thing that I enjoy, just having a hour-long session where we can talk about plants. You can listen to me ramble on about plants. I honestly think I ramble about plants, but for some reason, you guys love it and find some value listening to me. So I'm going to continue to do plant shopping videos. Anyways, right over here, what a gorgeous looking yellow dahlia plant. I'm telling you, I'm looking at all of these dahlias and it makes me want to just like create a whole dahlia garden. I have a Japanese garden, or a wannabe Japanese garden in my backyard. I'm still working on it. One thing I'm struggling with is having a bunch of grass just growing in my mulch beds. So I don't know what caused them to grow them, but I have to literally pluck all of the grass away from these beds. But anyways, I am now going to walk over here and show you guys a whole set and shelves of coleus plants. So if you've been watching my videos for the last couple weeks, I have grown a coleus obsession. These are for $1.98. So coleus come in so many different varieties. Most of them prefer to be in shade with a lot of bright and direct light, but I did find some coleus that can take full sun. I like coleus because they have different varieties of leaf shapes and colors. Some people aren't into coleus, and I can understand, but for me, I want to grow coleus indoors because you can actually overwinter them. You can get a lot of free plants because coleus are so easy to grow and propagate. You can literally snap off a piece of it, stick it directly in soil, and it will propagate itself. I have taken cuttings and put them in water, and it takes about a week and a half for the roots to establish, but very easy to grow coleus. I've also grown coleus from seed. They actually sprout sprouted for me in about 5 days. And now I'm starting to see some color patterns on some of my coleus seedlings. So it's like Christmas. You don't know what you're going to get. You have to wait patiently until they give you that actual present. But this is really cool. I've literally bought every single coleus available though at Lowe. So all of those varieties I already have, as well as this wax begonia right here. What I like about that bronze leaf wax begonia is the color contrast of the blooms. Now, wax begonias can take a variety of lighting conditions, lower light conditions, and full sun. I like this right here. This plant is such an interesting one. It's an alternanthera, I think that's how you pronounce it. This takes full sun, although I always wonder why. Every time I go to Lowe's, you can see that there is some browning and crisping on the leaves. What a gorgeous dark foliage plant. I love dark foliage leaves. Dark foliage plants are absolutely stunning. I find them elegant in a way where if you put them in like a planter that's white or a cream matte finish, it looks really nice. And then over here, we are looking at some potato vine plants. Now, these are very common. These are for $8.98. You can see these all over North Dallas. A lot of people grow them in hanging baskets. They've grown them in containers that have them trailed down. And some people grow them as ground covers. Now, the only thing about growing potato vine as ground covers, you want to keep them in a bed because they're very vigorous and invasive. And over here, we've got some Iconia begonias. So I was reading somewhere that Iconia begonias are actually a specific type of hybrid cross. Now, these are for $7.98. I love the look of the flowers right here. And on top of that, not only the flowers and the blooms of this begonia, the leaf shape of the begonia, the veining, and just the color of the leaves of this begonia is awesome. So really nice discovery for me, at least this year. I didn't realize that there were so many begonias that were literally grown for outdoor like flowering plants. Now, these actually do better in shade, so you'll just have to give it more shade than full sun. But I love the fact that it's got that wax wing begonia look about it, and then the blooms are to die for. And you can see right here, beautiful petunias. I'm gonna pan over here and show you even more dahlias here. So look at the leaf shape of these dahlias. These are for $29.98 at Lowe's. So if you want an instant patio full of planters of not begonias, dahlias, this is the place to go to. And these ones are the single petal kind. Sometimes dahlias can have different varieties and textures in their blooms, but what a gorgeous looking flower indeed. I never really paid attention to dahlias. I honestly preferred growing zinnias, but dahlias are starting to grow on me just because of the bloom colors and just the diversity that they have around it. And you can see that this Lowe's has so many plants. At this Lowe's, they have a surplus of outdoor or tropical plants that are grown indoors, outdoors. Now, this one right here is a quarter-line Hawaiian tea plant for $19.98. It's already a large size, and you can see that beautiful pink foliage that it provides. But when I pan away from here, you can see large majesty palms. We've got some aglaonema white rains right here, and then a bunch of different types of combination containers, which again, if you have a patio or have a landscape where you don't really want to plant these in the ground, you can just buy these instant containers and have a very nice focal point of plants. Like you've got right over here some canna lilies, some coleus plants here, some sun patience or New Guinea patience, impatiens right here, and some more coleus right here. I actually really like the bronze look of that coleus, and just the color combinations of these container plants are really nice. I haven't really experimented in putting a bunch of container plants, so if you just want instant gratification, you can go to a big box store at Lowe's and really save on some money and time by just buying an instant planter full of different types of plants. I love the combination of plants. Like right here, you can see that this is a color combination. It'll tell you what types of plants that they have. And for the most part, they have a really good value for a combination planter at Lowe. So now we're going to go ahead and walk into the indoor section. So I want to feature a bunch of these indoor tropical plants that you can grow obviously in an urban jungle, but as you can see right over here, lots of hanging baskets, a combination of live trends, urban jungles, and Costa Farms plants is what you will see. And for the first up right here is a bonsai. So this one is actually a ficus, a tiger ficus bonsai. Really like this. So this is what you would consider a tropical bonsai, as well as this ginseng bonsai right here. I'm not really a fan of the pots, but I would actually repot these and put them in a different type of pot. You can see right here, this is another type of bonsai. Now, bonsai again is the art of growing a tree in a shallow container and really just styling it. But as I pan over here, this Lowe's has a nice variety of hanging baskets. So I want to show you this right here. Epipremnum aureum jade pothos. Or Epipremnum aureum jade. This is a common and easy to care for plant, one of the easiest plants to ever take care of. I would even go as far as to say this is probably one of the first plants that most of us have ever taken into our homes. And then here is one of my favorites. It's an Epipremnum pinnatum cebu blue. Love this a lot just because it grows vigorously. It's easy to propagate. If you grow it up on a pole, the leaves will actually get large and fenestrate. And for those that don't know what fenestrating means, it means that it actually splits its leaves. Now, this is endemic to my home country, which is the Philippines. So I'm Filipino, proud to be Filipino, and I always love to just insert little tidbits about Filipino culture in my plant videos. So you can see here another bonsai. This one is another one by Costa Farms, and you can see that these have a pretty good value. These are for $19.98. This one is $18.88. This is a cute looking ficus ginseng bonsai. You can actually see a lot of these actually at IKEA as well, but it looks like Costa Farms is jumping on the bonsai craze as well. I hope that actually becomes a big deal again. Back in the early 90s, a lot of people grew a lot of bonsai. I feel like it's a dying form of plant care and art. Now, right over here is a ficus altissima. This one's for $22.98 by Live Trends. Nice green on green variegation. Now this particular ficus, well, all ficus really need a lot of light, but to get the best coloration, you've got to give it a lot of bright indirect light. Here is a Calathea burley marxii or fishbone Calathea. Really like the look of the foliage here. Now with Calatheas, I have found that if you just convert them to hydroponics, where basically you get rid of all the soil and substrate and stick it in a bowl of water with some plant nutrients, you never have to worry about underwatering it because it's constantly being watered. And as far as the humidity levels, the ambient humidity level of standing water will take care of it. So that's how I take care of my Calatheas, and they have done very well. Over here is another Aglaonema. This is an Aglaonema white rain. I love Aglaonemas. It's one of my favorite plants to grow. This is by Urban Jungle, Live Trends for $22.98. I love the white stems on it, and you can see that they have all of these Live Trends planters. And then right over here are a bunch of urban jungle ones. So this is a bird's nest fern. Really like the bird's nest fern. These are for $13.98. So you'll see a variety of urban jungle planters. I wish that the planters were more minimalistic, as in just like maybe a terracotta color or just a matte finish of like a cream color versus having the textures. That's just my personal preference. And you can see here we've got a Ficus lyrata. Now Ficus lyrata is a finicky plant to some people, but for some reason mine has been doing very well, and I bought it for 99 cents. So that's the thing, you have to go to different big box stores, grocery stores to find the best plant pricing. And that's one of my goals, is to be able to like showcase and pan out all of these beautiful plants and tell you about their plant care as well as their plant pricing, so it's easy to compare and contrast. Plant pricing varies from different parts of the country and even in the world, but for Lowe's, I feel like they're pretty consistent. Like this is a Dracaena tornado. It's one of the plant foldy's favorite types of Dracaenas. Dracaenas are underrated. I will always talk about how underrated they are in all of my plant videos, so be prepared for that. But look at how gorgeous this plant is. Easy to care for plant. It takes lower light conditions or can tolerate lower light conditions. It has a pretty moderate growth pattern as well. And over here for $13.98 is an Epipremnum aureum neon pothos, another classic pothos right here. If you haven't grown pothos in your home and you're thinking about starting a indoor houseplant collection, please get yourself a pothos plant. Make that your first plant because pothos plants are easy. And I would say taking easy to care for plants or beginner plants will get you acclimated to growing more challenging plants. It'll bring the joy because when you kill a plant, at least for me, when I kill a plant, it really discourages me from growing plants. It makes me like actually go back a couple of steps versus forward. So find easy to care for plants like this philodendron heteroraceum lemon lime. It looks similar to the neon pothos, but it has more heart-shaped leaves. This is another easy to care for plant. The only thing about philodendron heteroraceum lemon lime is it needs bright indirect light to really remain yellow. Otherwise, it'll start to grow more green than yellow. So just keep that in mind. And the same thing with the neon pothos, but two easy to care for plants. I am all about easy to care for plants. And right over here, we've got a Peperomia Golden Gate for $13.98. Urban Jungles release again. Look at that variegation here. So I actually got one of these Peperomia Golden Gates at HEB, which is a local Texas grocery store for $6. So while I like the look of this, $13.98 is a little bit more pricey for me when I got a bigger Peperomia Golden Gate at a grocery store for $6. So again, it's one of those things where we will look at all of these plant shopping videos. I am curious to see what your plant pricing are. So for my plant foldies watching this, please leave in the comments section after this video what your plant pricing looks like for specific plants. It would be interesting to compare and contrast. And then over here, this is a nice hanging basket of philodendron heteroraceum. So this is just a green variety. And you can see this is a heart-shaped leaf philodendron. Now, if you grow this up a totem pole, the leaves will actually get larger. That's its natural way of growing. But if you grow it on a hanging basket, it'll remain smaller leaves. And actually, the further it trails down, the leaves start to get smaller, especially when there isn't enough bright and direct light to provide for it. But I do like the sleek look of the pot. I love that matte finish. I just wish it didn't have the speckles. Like I would love for it to have just been a plain matte pot. The color is actually nice as well. It works for me. And then over here, they've got some overage of plants. So most Lowe's will have shelves of them. And you can see here, they've got more urban jungle, urban jungle plants. This is a Sansevieria for $13.98. Snake plants are easy because they can tolerate lower light conditions. I will say they need a little bit more consistent watering than you think. You really don't want to overwater them because you will root rot them, but you can't go for months without watering them. And then right over here is a Dracaena Dorado. Dracaenas, again, this is for $12.97 by Costa Farms. Now, you can actually find a Dracaena a little bit cheaper at Walmart for the same price by Costa Farms. It is for $9.97. But if you are in Lowe's and you find a beautiful plant like this, $12.97 is not a bad price at all. And again, with your Dracaenas, if you don't have a Dracaena, buy yourself a Dracaena. They're so easy. They're very difficult to kill. And then I would say here is another type of Hoya. So this is a Hoya laconasa. I think that's how you pronounce it. I am going to get into Hoyas. I'm afraid that once I start my Hoya obsession, it's nonstop. I mean, right now I am just collecting Coleus plants. A couple months back, I was collecting every single type of Aglaonema. I still am. And previously, I was collecting all the types of Syngonium. So I have to watch myself with all of my plant obsessions. Leave in the comments if you end up like growing an obsession of a particular plant, like even this, like this Fittonia stripes. I love the unique veining of this Fittonia stripes. I haven't really seen that, and it is an interesting looking Fittonia for sure. I wanted to go feature this. Now, this is in a smaller hanging basket by Costa Farms. This one is for $16.98. It's a nice Fittonia find. Let me know in the comments if you like Fittonias, what you think of them. I've been told that they do better in terrarium settings. The same thing with polka dot plants, but I want some Fittonias because they come in so many different colors, specifically pink, and I love pink plants. Right over here is another plant for $16.98. This is a teddy bear vine. It reminds me of a fuzzy Tradescanthia. I mean, they're similar, I guess, in family genus. Really like that a lot. It is a teddy bear vine because it's got such fuzzy leaves like a teddy bear. Really like the color as well. That, you know, matte finish of this particular plant is amazing. And then what else do we have over here? We've got some more golden pothos for $15.98 in self-watering planters. We've got a gorgeous looking aglaonema. So I haven't featured as many aglaonemas as of late, but this one is in a wick and grow pot. So it's in a self-watering planter for $15.98. I have this particular aglaonema, and what I love about it is the ghostly look about it. Look at how pastel look and that gray look, and then just even the yellow veins on it, and even just that slight metallic variegation. There's just so much going on in this aglaonema, and what I love about it is the most is actually the white stems on aglaonema. Just that stark white is gorgeous. Aglaonema can tolerate lower light conditions. They are a slower growing plant, however. And then over here, we've just got more plants. We've got another Sansevieria moonshine. Now with Sansevieria moonshine, for it to have that gray tone, you need to give it a little bit more light. Otherwise, it ends up being more green in lower light conditions. But as I pan over here, you can see they've got some African violets, some hanging baskets of staghorn ferns. Really like the gold watering cans as well with the long nose. That's really nice. But you can see here crates of staghorn ferns growing in sphagnum moss. I have yet to get a staghorn fern, and look at this Vanda orchid right here. So Vanda orchids are orchids that I want to grow in my space because they remind me of the Philippines. There's a particular Vanda orchid called Waling Waling, which is spelled W-A-L-I-N-G, W-A-L-I-N-G. Google it and you will see why it's such a beautiful Vanda orchid. And that's the reason why I am a little bit more drawn to Vanda orchids. I mean, orchids in general are gorgeous. And you can see that this particular Lowe's has a bunch of kokedama or hanging baskets of orchids here. So you can see that these are by Better Grow Orchids. I really like that. I'll have $20.98 for these kokedama. So if you don't know what kokedama are, it's basically the Japanese form of growing a plant wrapped around a moss bowl and like hanging it or even just putting it on a plate. Really cool to grow them that way. The way you would water a kokedama is actually just submerging the whole moss bowl into water and then just letting it drain. And you can either hang it or put it on like a plate. So those are a really cool way of displaying plants. And this is a really cute air plant in a Easter bunny planter. This is also by Live Trends. So Live Trends does some really seasonally relevant planters, although Easter has passed. So it's interesting that they haven't really reduced the price for that. But look at all of the plants that they have here. I'm just going to pan over and show you how full this Lowe's is. And you can see they just have so many like orchids as well. Like this particular orchid right over here that I'm going to pick up is a dendrobian orchid. So what I like about dendrobian orchids is the flowers are different than the phalaenopsis orchid. This one's for $18.98, and I do like that. It's just a simple terracotta pot. Love the look of that. And you can see here, look at that beautiful yellow tone on the blooms, and the blooms are a little bit smaller. There's more to it, and it's just really interesting. So I'm gonna have to do my research. Some people have suggested a couple of YouTubers that do specific orchids and growing orchids, so I will have to binge that. But you can see they've got so many phalaenopsis orchids, and it's just interesting that for all year long, whether it's winter, summer, spring, fall, whatever year, you will see phalaenopsis orchids. The same thing with bromeliads. So this bromeliad is for $13.98. I actually like the bromeliad look. They have a really interesting look, especially this one right here. This one has more cooler tones to it. I like the ones with the stark like red coloration or neon pink. It looks like they spray paint, but you can see so many phalaenopsis orchids. I finally got my first phalaenopsis orchid. It is a variegated one that I found at Kroger, which is another local grocery store out here in North Dallas. I do a lot of my shopping there. I actually do my shopping all over, and that's the thing. When I do all of these plant shopping videos, I seriously have to put a lot of plant restraint in just spending all my money. I was surprised that at PlantCon 2024, I only spent $25. Actually, a plant foldy, who is my #1 cheerleader, Luke, was the one that bought me that Croton variegata milk for $25. So I really didn't spend any money at PlantCon. But anyways, I digress and go back to the actual video, which is this plant shopping video right here. These orchids, like this white one right here, is just gorgeous. I honestly like white blooms on flowers. There is a certain elegance and delicate look about white blooms as well as pink ones. So let me know in the comments, plantfoldies. You know, I've been asking a lot from you guys, but I really do enjoy the engagement. Feel free to, you know, put multiple comments asking me questions, letting me know about your plans in the comments section, as well as the live premiere chat. It's always fun to just engage with you guys. And you can see here, yucca plants. These ones are for $29.98. And then this is a Dieffenbachia here. And it's a Dieffenbachia I actually bought at Walmart because they offered it for $9.97. But this is a Dieffenbachia for $12.98. Dieffenbachia Sparkle. It's also being called the Dieffenbachia Sublime. Now with Dieffenbachias, they are challenging plants in a way that they just require a lot of bright indirect light. They can be spider mite prone, so you just have to keep an eye out on it. And you don't really want to overwater them as well. The thing about Dieffenbachia is if you don't give it bright light, it will definitely get leggy very quickly. The leaves will start to drop. And one thing, for those that have pets like cats and dogs, you really don't want to have Dieffenbachia in your collection because it is a highly toxic plant. I know that a lot of you guys have asked me to, you know, give you some pointers on what plants are pet friendly. So next time I do another plant shopping video, I'll try to do a little bit more research on plants that are pet friendly. I will say calatheas are pet friendly. So are peace lilies. So obviously do your own research. You know, don't take my word for you know, golden, you know, fact, but that's what I've been told, heard, and read. And you can see here lots of exotic angel starter plants. It's always nice to see Lowe's just carrying a bunch of these. Now, I will say the way Lowe's gets them is they get trays and trays of certain releases of plants, but I will tell you the predictable exotic angel plants that you will find would be like this one right here. This is a Croton Petra for $5.98. I know you've probably seen this in all of my videos, but Crotons, again, are a love-hate for some people. Some people love them, some people hate them. I love them. Sometimes they hate me, though, because they can be finicky indoors. Now, when you grow them outdoors, they're easy to grow. And then you can see here they have that wick and grow reservoir. And right here is a Hydra Helix. Royal Hustler, or what the correct way to say it is Hedera Helix. I know you plantfoldies like to keep track of how many times I incorrectly say Hydra Helix. So I'm just going to keep saying that. Now, for those that are watching my video for the first time, I hope I don't scare y'all, but a little tidbit about the way I say Hedera Helix. For the longest time when I was shopping, I would say Hydra Helix, and somebody corrected me on the correct pronunciation, but for some reason people like me saying it, so I will continue to pronounce Hedera Helix in that way. So that's probably just a Grow Folds channel exclusive. And you can see here I panned over different types of exotic angels. This is a variegated peperomia teardrop for $5.98. So the thing about Costa Farms exotic angels, if you shop at Walmart, they're for $4.97. If you have an HEB, which is literally only grocery stores in Texas, you can get them for as low as $3.98. Now, Lowe's stays consistent with having them for $5.98. So it really just depends. They are the same plants. So if you get lucky, again, like this berry illusion syngonium, if I wanted to add another syngonium to my plant collection, I would have to look elsewhere to try to get a better deal for instead of $5.98. You can also get them on clearance at Lowe's. Sometimes they will clearance out the plants, but typically by the time they clearance them out, the plant has already really declined in health. Needless to say, if you want to buy a big box store plant as well, just know that these plants may harbor pests because they have been exposed to different types of plants, the travel time. So I would just assume that if you get any plants like this coffee plant, which is adorable, by the way, you need to make sure that you're quarantining your plants, you're checking the soil, you're spraying it with a preventative type of neem oil or maybe insecticidal soap. That's what I do when I bring plants indoors, because even when you do preventative pest control, they still, for some reason, find their way into a plant collection. And that's the thing that can really destroy a plant. I would say one of the number one very brutal types of plant pests indoors would be thrifts. Also, mealybugs. If you grow a lot of like Hoyas or any types of plants that may be susceptible, mealybugs are very challenging to get rid of. So just that that preventative care is there. And you can see right here is another Hydra helix. This is a Bettina Hydra helix or Hedera helix. Really like that a lot. I have one of those growing in my collection because I like the rounder leaves. And speaking of leaf shape, this is another Hydra helix. This is another asterisk Hedera helix English ivy. Look at that. It looks like an asterisk sign. Really cute looking one. I will tell you guys, I failed my Hydra helix challenge. So I got a gold baby Hedera helix one. The way I ended up failing it, because it ended up basically declining in health, is I did not water it for 2 weeks. So the thing about English ivy is you do need to have consistency in the water. Over watering it will do bad, but if you water it like once a week, it'll do fine. I was doing very well with it, but once a English ivy actually starts to like crisp up and lose its leaves, it starts to get very bare and it just declines in health. So I killed another English ivy. That's English ivy number 14. So I don't know. Now, if you're looking at this Epipremna aureum neon for 2098, this is a plant that is very challenging to kill. Like, it is one of those very easy to care for plants. I mean, obviously all plants can be killed with neglect, but this one is a little bit more forgiving. And you can see here is another little Herman Hydra helix. This Hedera helix little Herman is so cute because I do like that the foliage is a little bit smaller. Really cool silver variegation. This one is by Costa Farms Exotic Angels for 2098. I am weary about buying a full hanging basket of Hedera helix, however, just because I can't even keep a 3.5-inch potted one up alive. So it's really disappointing. But do you see right here? So you talk about plant finds. Do you see what is in that dark corner? Those leaves are illuminating. It's asking me for me to take this plant out. And this is a beautiful Epipremnum aureum Manjula pothos for $7.98. So I find these pothos so gorgeous because look at how highly variegated this pothos plant is, and on top of that, it's got rounder, larger leaves. Now, if you are able to grow a Manjula pothos on a totem pole, a moss pole, a plank, it will get humongous leaves with highly variegated leaves that can even rival like a Monstera albo. I always say if you grow a pothos, especially a Manjula pothos on a totem, it's like a cheaper alternative to growing a variegated Monstera albo. Trust and believe that, and it's just gorgeous. For $7.98, I love that a lot. As well as this Belgian waffle plant. So the thing about Belgian waffle plant and the snow white waffle plant, beautiful leaves. I give it to this plant. Like, look at that variegation. This one has more caramel tan variegation with some undertones of like pink and lavender, but this plant will crisp up very quickly. So I'm not sure if it just really needs to be in a terrarium setting. But I did find a hanging basket that I'm growing outside, and for some reason it does better outside. So my snow white waffle plant didn't do very well. So plant foldies, let me know in the comments what you think about the Belgian waffle plant. If you've grown it, if it crisp up. It is another plant that just does not love me. I think plants, though, if you're gonna grow plants, they don't love you. And I say you as in general, because maybe we just don't provide the right care conditions. You know, every plant can become, quote, an easy care plant if we actually take care of or give the plant, the right plant conditions or, plant care conditions. Now, when it comes to, quote, an easy care plant, I think that's a plant that just has minimal care requirements, like a Sansevieria or a pothos plant. But you can see here as I pan over, look at how gorgeous all of these hanging baskets are at Lowe's. And I'm just going to go pan over here and show you some more plants. And while this is common and while some people don't like crotons, like look at this croton gold dust. This croton is gorgeous for $5.98. Now with crotons, the more light you provide it, the better coloration you're going to get. It's really influenced by the amount of light you give it. I am growing a Croton Magnificent outdoors, full sun, southern facing, and it is doing beautiful. Like literally the leaves come out green and then they start to turn like this black color. I love it a lot. And with crotons, they prefer like warmer conditions. So I might get a gold dusk again just because I really like that yellow tone. And then look at this beautiful syngonium here. I believe this is another type of syngonium illusion. This one is for $5.98 as well. Nice full syngonium. Now with syngoniums, they prefer to have a little bit more bright and direct light. If you give it lower light conditions, syngoniums will get a little bit leggy. If you underwater a syngonium, as in if you don't really water them and neglect them, their health will decline very quickly. And I speak on actual experience. So just keep in mind, syngoniums are easy to propagate as well. And right over here is a Photonia red vein for $5.98. I have yet to add a Photonia to my collection. I think the Photonia I would add would be like a Photonia white stripes and maybe a Photonia Juanita because they have larger foliage on them. And then you can see right here is another Hydra Helix. This Hedera Helix design is what it's called. It's an English ivy design. Not sure if they could have given it a better name, but this one has some like almost like trident maple foliage. Look at that. And it's got some subtle variegation right here. Really nice looking Hedera Helix. And if I was an idiot, I would probably buy some more English ivy, but I only say I'm an idiot because I just can't seem to like take care of English ivy. It's actually one that has been festering in my mind for a while. I could not believe that I killed my English ivy by just underwatering it. This time it wasn't because of spider mites. And then over here, some more gorgeous looking waffle plants. This is a Belgian waffle plant. And you can see they've got a fresh set of syngoniums. Look at this right here. Do you guys like this waffle plant? Is that your plant niche? I love it. I just love the color. But check this out. So this is my plant find. So I've been searching for a Monstera Thai Constellation at this Lowe's. That's the reason why I actually went to this Lowe's, is because of a birdie telling me that there was some Monstera Thai Constellations for $150 that made it to North Dallas. But unfortunately, or at least I haven't seen it in the corner. But you can see right here, I pulled out 3 Manjula pothos. And for those that are local plant foldies or live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, these are at the McDermott Road, Allen, Texas, Lowe's, right across from the Home Depot. It's right next to I-75, but you can see, look at these Manjula pothos right here. Really like that a lot. I actually did a shorts video with the Miss Universe theme song saying that it was like Miss Manjula Pothos 2024, because when I go plant shopping, it's kind of like a beauty pageant where like all of these plants are asking to be, judged and pick and, make the cut. If I actually wanted a really full basket of Manjula pothos, I would have bought all 5 of these. They are pretty healthy looking plants. And even though Manjula pothos are not really rare plants, the one thing I will say is they're not as commonly found as hanging baskets at even local plant nurseries. For some reason, even though it is a pothos plant that can be propagated, I just don't see that. And that's the reason why I think people find Manjula pothos an uncommon find. And right over here is a common find. That is a sago palm for $15.98 in a self-watering planter. And I'm going to walk over here because this isn't a Grow Folds plant video if I don't feature aglaonemas. And what I love about this Lowe's is it has some really good plant merchandising. All of the aglaonemas are in a nice row. All of these ZZ plants are in a nice row. And these are beautiful aglaonema. This is an aglaonema red Siam or Siam Aurora. This is for $15.98. Love the pink stems. The more bright indirect light you give this aglaonema, the better the veining and coloration will be. I love it a lot. It is a classic aglaonema. And then right over here is another classic aglaonema. This is an aglaonema Maria. Love that silver green foliage right here. I just am shocked that a lot of people don't collect aglaonemas. When I went to PlantCon 2024 at the NRG Center in Houston, Texas, there were some aglaonemas for sale, but and these were aglaonemas aglaonemas that were like imported from Thailand and overseas, but I didn't really see a lot of people picking up aglaonemas. So for those that actually grow indoor houseplants, can you give me insights on why maybe you're not into aglaonemas? Because they're low light tolerant, they don't need a lot of water, they have so many varieties, different bright colors, and they're just easy to care for. So I'm just curious what the hesitation, I suppose, about growing aglaonemas. And over here, this is a plant I would not hesitate to grow several of, and this is a Raven ZZ, Costa Farms Trending Tropicals. This one is for $19.84 in a self-watering planter. And kudos to Costa Farms for making Trending Tropicals in self-watering planters. It's a really nice deal, and I am just taken back by how gorgeous this Lowe's is. And you can see there is another Mandula pothos in a hanging basket. So for my Plant Foldy loyal subscriber, Steven, I still have your Mandula pothos on me. We shall meet at Plant Keeper Incorporated soon. It is growing very well. It's already pushed out some new leaf, and I even put some Protect silicone solution, watered it so that the leaves wouldn't brown up. It helps with the variegation. So I've been taking care of that Mandula pothos. Just keep watching my videos, Steven. Keep sharing it with your friends, and I've got your Mandula pothos with me. And over here, this is actually a beautiful looking bird's nest fern. I want to look for a bird's nest fern tornado, so it looks similar to like a Dracaena tornado. These are all for $15.98, and you can see right here, Epipremnum aureum, golden pothos. This is actually a nice one because look at all of the, it's starting to trail, and I love that as well about pothos. I've seen certain like restaurants in the Dallas-Fort Worth area actually feature a lot of trailing pothos, and it just gives like a space, that greenery that is just beautiful. It just relaxes me. It gives me that plant therapy. So Plant Foldies, let me know what you think. What do you think about all the plants you're seeing? And for those that are still on this, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you've been watching it, and I did check my YouTube analytics, I don't know what I can do to get more viewers to actually subscribe. So only about 29% of my views come from subscribers. So just hit that subscribe button, with the notification bell on, because if you have the notification bell on, it will immediately notify you for those live premieres. I know some of you guys have said you made it late, but if you have that notification bell, if you have your phone on you all the time, it'll notify you. Anyways, I will show you this right here. So this is a Xanthosoma. Really like this a lot. I would think of a Xanthosoma as a combination of like an Alocasia, and it also looks like a Caladium. Beautiful looking Xanthosoma. These have started to come back out again. There were so many of them released earlier this year, and you can see right here, we've got some Ficus lyrata or a fiddle fig leaf in a self-watering planter. Really like that a lot, and honestly I am open to really trying to grow my fiddle fig leaf into a full-blown tree. These do require bright light, and when you grow a fiddle fig leaf in your home, make sure you put it somewhere where it gets like bright light, maybe a southern facing window, and don't move it, because if you move it around, the leaves will actually drop. It's its way of showing that it's not happy. Ficus in general, especially a Ficus lyrata, enjoy consistency. So consistent light, consistent environment, consistent watering. So don't let it not water for 3 weeks and then drench it. You might want to give it on a more consistent watering schedule. I did want to pull this out because this is one of my favorite common Dracaenas, large form. This is a Dracaena that I love. This is a Dracaena Hawaiian Fragrance. What a gorgeous looking Dracaena, and it's one that you will see at Lowe's or any big box store. So if you want a large plant like that can tolerate lower light conditions, I would recommend a Dracaena. But I'm going to pan over here and just show you how full this beautiful Lowe's looks. And you can see right over here, they've got another beautiful Spathiphyllum. This Spathiphyllum actually has some white on it, and that's really the pollen from its blooms. These are for $15.98 in a self-watering planter. Spathiphyllum need to be consistently watered. If you don't water it, it's so dramatic. All the leaves will curl up, droop, and tell you that it needs to be watered. So it's a dramatic plant. And then here is a non-dramatic plant that is a ZZ plant, very easy, can tolerate very low light conditions. And I do want to pan over here and show you this. This is an interesting bird of paradise that's ready to unfurl a new leaf. And you can see right here what a gorgeous philodendron heteroraceum Brazil, classic looking plant. I actually need to get a hanging basket of philodendron heteroraceum, and I did want to show you this lineup of Epipremnum aurea mandula pothos. Like, would you do candidate number 1? Which candidate would you pick? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And I also wanted to show you this. So for those that are interested in growing coleus, just look for this particular coleus seed packet. This is the rainbow coleus plant. This one's for $2.19, but you get so many seeds. I would say I probably got more than 50 types of coleus growing, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of coleus plants I get. I'm hoping to get more darker foliage coleus plants, maybe some pink ones along the line, but I wanted to show you that. And speaking of that, I have now transitioned over to the Walmart off of Custer Road, near Highway 121, because this has a beautiful philodendron pink princess for $19.84. So this Walmart typically doesn't have a lot of plants, but I also failed to find Monstera Thai Constellations at that particular Lowe's. But maybe this Lowe's right over, or this Walmart here, might have the Monstera Thai Constellations. But you can see right here, this is Atriotscanthia burgundy for $19.84 at Walmart. So Walmart has cheaper hanging baskets of Costa Farms. That is a Chester fern. And then we've got some variegated mini lipstick plants right here. Really like that a lot. And you know, this Walmart doesn't typically have a lot of like indoor plants. And one thing I would, you know, as a critique, I wish they would have put it in more in their patio section versus just at the front of store. I think it could, you know, have better merchandising. But this is a Hedera Helix. This Hedera Helix, English Ivy Gold Baby, is a hanging basket. This is the Hedera Helix English Ivy that I ended up killing, and I'm really sad about it. Here is a Belus hanging basket plant. Really nice looking variegation here. What I like about this variegation though is it's got an outline around its leaves, so I really like that a lot. But I should have traveled to the Rockwall Walmart. That Walmart has a bunch of plants and apparently had a bunch of Thai constellations. So I'm curious to see if they will get more Monstera Thai Constellations at Walmart. I'm waiting for Costa Farms to do an announcement. You know, we did get lucky by getting a bunch of Thai Constellations at Kroger's for $29.99. The only sad part is people are buying a bunch of these large Thai Constellations to do like reselling. I'm seeing a bunch of these Thai Constellations that were being sold for $150 at a big box store and selling it for $1,000. And the sad part is there are some people in this country that will pay that price because these Thai Constellations haven't made it to everybody. But you can see right over here, lots of like trending tropical plants. I like this this pothos alplissima. I think that's how you pronounce it. I do want to get one of these as well, and I'm glad that Costa Farms is starting to release it alongside with the Alocasia silver dragon. Now both of these plants are for $19.84 and trending tropical plants. I am always in the constant lookout for this. And again, if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and haven't subscribed to my channel, would really encourage you to subscribe to my channel, because I feature a lot of these places where you could potentially get these plants that I'm reporting on a daily basis. I do have to give this Walmart credit because look at how beautiful everything is arranged. Everything is pulled forward. It's a beautiful looking store. I know sometimes Walmart gets this rap of having things just thrown everywhere, but that zone in you know, is beautiful. And I am going to just pan over here and show you the outdoor section of this this Walmart. So not all Walmarts are created equal, in a sense that some Walmarts have a smaller outdoor garden section. The one off of McKinney, Texas in Lake Road Lake Road has the biggest outdoor section, but you can see here beautiful looking dahlias. I actually like these by Better Homes and Garden. This one is for $587, I believe, or $589. Look at how beautiful this dahlia is. It has more structure to it, different types of texture in the blooms, and same thing right here. I am curious to maybe get a couple of these and grow them in my outdoor space. I am growing columbine plants. These are for $588. That's the correction on the price, but I would say Walmart has the most cost-effective pricing when it comes to like outdoor plants. Now, indoor plants, that's debatable because you can go to like a grocery store, at least the grocery stores out in Texas, like H-E-B is one, and Kroger is a great contender for some really cost-effective plants. But as far as outdoor plants, like these beautiful petunias and these containers made easy, $24.97, and you can plop this in a larger container, have an instant flower. And I did want to show you this. This is the first time I've ever seen Alocasias, the Island Bloom series by Costa Farms for $584. You've got a beautiful looking Alocasia right here. I did find one out in North Houston at a Walmart in a small town called Huntsville, Texas. So I ended up buying it, but I bought one of these Alocasias and actually potted it up in a 6-inch planter in the hopes of growing it larger. Now I know that Alocasias, the variegated forms, are going to be the most trendy plant of 2024, and I could tell that it was because at PlantCon 2024, that was just recently concluded out in Houston, Texas this past weekend, there were so many like variegated Alocasias, but let's not forget on the green versions. Like this was at $584. What a gorgeous looking Alocasia, and it does have a beautiful purple underside. Here is another Alocasia. This is an Alocasia California, and this is not a bad price at all. This one is only for $997. This is grown in Florida. I actually have a variegated form of that, so it's a really nice looking one, but even the green form is beautiful. It would make a really nice shaded patio plant. And then this is a large Croton Petra for $997. So I would say instead of buying like a small exotic angel one for $598, why not get a larger Croton Petra that you can put outside? So I'm actually growing my crotons outdoors in full sun, and it is doing very well for me. I will give this Walmart credit. The plants look very healthy. They are merchandised as best as they can. Even though they have a smaller selection of plants, you can tell that these haven't been picked over. I don't think there's nearly as much traffic as the other one that I went to, but you can see here lots of geraniums, Asiatic lilies. These are all offered by Better Homes and Gardens. And even this back wall right here, they've got different types of like hanging baskets, lots of petunias and different types of plants. I'm just going to pan over and show you all of these plants now. While this Walmart may not have as many of like a big selection, I am happy that there's not a lot of foot traffic here, so I can freely show you these plants without having to dodge people. But like right over here is a beautiful Kalia lily. Love the dark foliage blooms on there, right? Like the dark blooms. These are by Garden Expert for $697. Not a bad price at all. And I have to feature any type of coleus that I run into. I've already bought this one. This is a coleus campfire. Mine is actually starting to get some really large leaves. I repotted it in a 8-inch planter, and it is growing very well. I'm planning on like cutting it up and propagating more. And this one's for $588. That is not a bad price at all. Again, from Better Homes and Gardens. So I'm actually a fan of the Better Homes and Garden line, not only their plants, but also their planters that Walmart sells. They've got a really nice modern contemporary look about it. And you can see right here, so many tropical house plants that you can grow outside. And even with the afternoon sun hitting these beautiful blooms, like there's a variety of different types of fuchsia plants. We've got some petunias right over here. This one is a spreading petunia by Better Homes and Garden. Really like that a lot. Look at how beautiful the blooms are. They kind of remind me of cherry blossoms, and I love pink flowers. I mean, I can't stress to you guys enough how much I love pink flowers. So plant full leaves, if you made it this far, what do you guys think about all of these Walmart plants that have been featuring, like Asiatic lilies? These are perennials by Garden Expert. And look at that. I love the orange one. Look at this. Look at that orange bloom right there. They remind me of like Halloween. And then that beautiful, delicate, elegant looking flower, that pink one. And look at this wall of new tropicals, Island Blooms by Costa Farms. And I actually was gonna buy this right here. So this is another type of cordyline Hawaiian tea plant for $5.84. I might actually come back to this because this one has a pink stem. And I'm assuming that if you give it some more light, that this will have some more different types of colors. Yeah, I'm probably going to come back to this. I was just in a rush to film this one, but that's nice that this is a fresh batch, and I'm literally about 15 minutes away, 10-15 minutes away, if that, for this Walmart here. But what a gorgeous looking assortment of plants. And unfortunately, it looks like I am out of luck when it comes to finding a Monstera Thai Constellation. I'm going to definitely look at that. The Lowe's didn't have it, and I figured that the McDermott Lowe's may have it because they always get some really nice restocks. I've found some really good plants, but you know, this right here, this Walmart, I figured wouldn't get it, but there are a couple of other Walmarts I'm going to check. You never know. So plant foldies, I hope you've enjoyed this plant shopping video, this big box plant shopping video. As always, please make sure you are hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. Please leave comments. I love to engage with you guys. You can see here just so many beautiful plants. I would love to get updates of all of your outdoor gardening plants as well as your indoor plants, what plants you want me to feature. I really love that feedback. And as our plant community grows, it's more imperative for me to really get the type of content you want me to provide. Obviously, I will always put in some personal things about me in my content just because I want you guys to get to know me a little bit better. Maybe I will do a face reveal soon. Who knows, at 20,000 subscribers, but I am going to be doing a Monstera Thai Constellation free giveaway. You do need to have an Instagram account to qualify. Anyways, this is Richie at Grow Folds. I'll see you soon. Bye.